what's up? How are you guys doing? I'm Connie. Welcome to my channel and yours, where you can come to be empowered, to live the life you have imagined for yourself. So I have a little detail that you may or may not know about me. I am an accidental minimalist. So if this is something you have ever even thought about, or you're just curious, you should definitely stay tuned. I'm talking about the lessons learned from minimalism. It all started in 2008 with the recession. So my husband and I, we had debt like crazy, crazy debt. We were definitely not living within our means. And to get out of the debt, we were given a book by Dave Ramsey. And I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with him, but he's fantastic. And pretty much he says you sell everything, get rid of everything to get out of debt. So that's how we started this minimalism ball rolling, is we started just liquidating. If it was not nailed down, we sold it. We sold. So we were down from a big house with 4 bedrooms, and there was 5 of us in the family. We sold that and we got down to about 1,200 square foot condo that felt really tiny at the time, and just kept getting rid of things and stuff. So we never went into being a minimalist with the idea that that's what we are working toward at all. This has been a series of decisions that had led us into this lifestyle. So in 2013, this is when things really took off for owning less. We decided to sell everything we had, pretty much, except for about 20% that we put in storage. And we bought an RV and traveled around the US with our 8-year-old daughter, because my 2 older kids had just left the house. This is the first time that I really put thought into every possession I owned, because only so much would fit in the RV. But still, we had quite a bit of things, and we had a storage unit. We really, truly embraced the minimalist lifestyle in 2015 when we got rid of even the RV and our storage, and we traveled the world now with our 10-year-old little girl with a backpack, just a carry-on. That was it. It's like if it didn't make the list in the carry-on, it wasn't coming. And it took us many years to get to that point of minimalism. And we learned a lot from it. And some of these lessons were pretty hard to swallow. They were tough lessons, but clearly ones that I needed to learn. The first one is that your self-worth is not in your stuff. This was so hard for me because I was so attached to my house and my nice cars and my nice clothes and my nice stuff in 2008. And so when we were selling everything to get out of debt, man, I cried. Whew. I cried like a baby, like you were taking my right arm. Like I was devastated to lose my stuff. I had a lot of my self-value tied up in these things that are just things. And at the end of the day, I learned that it's just stuff. You can buy more stuff, but you can't replace relationships. You can't replace people that you love. You can't replace your own self-worth or self-value. You can't replace your health. So there's things that are important and then things that are just stuff. It's really easy nowadays to get caught up in this belief system, especially in the West, that we need more and more. And so we keep filling this void with material items that it doesn't bring us joy. It's just more things. That's not where self-value or worth is. It's not in stuff. It's in here. It's right here. And it's in your relationships with the people you care about. The less you own, the less that owns you. I know that we think we have this image in our minds that, oh, I'll just get this and I'll just get that and it'll make my life so much better. But is it? Because everything you buy, take a minute, look around. Look at all your stuff. Look at your decor, your throw pillows, your blankets, your closet full of clothes, cupboards full of items, everything. You had to work. You had to trade your time for money to buy that item. And then you have to work to maintain that item, to clean that item, to take care of that item, to move that item if you move houses. And then what do you do with it? You discard it, you throw it away, you replace it, it breaks, or you just get bored of it, and you get a new item. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, energy, and money that goes into things. So really, what happens is we become a slave to the stuff. It doesn't help us. It doesn't improve our life. We are slaves to it. Things don't equal happiness. They don't. I know you go shopping and you get that rush. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got this great sweater and it was on sale. And it's so exciting. But how long does that last? Really? Not very long. The happiness wears off pretty quick because we don't find joy in material items. If we found joy in material items, then the super ultra rich or famous or movie stars or rock stars would be the happiest people alive. And they're not always the happiest people alive. I worked with this lady at an inn, and it's over here in the South, and she never had much money. She said she lived in a single wide trailer. She was the kindest, sweetest woman I've ever met. And we were talking about material items and money and happiness. I'll never forget, she looked at me and she goes, darling, I've never had 2 pennies to rub together and I have been happy as a lark my entire life. And she meant it. And she was. Things don't buy happiness. Happiness comes from within you, not from outside of you. You really don't need much. This is another misconception that I had to learn about the things that I really needed and the things that I just kind of wanted or I thought was cute. How many coats do you really need? How many shoes do you really need? You know, when we traveled with just the carry-on, it really came down to what is a necessity. We needed the one everything shoe, as we call it. That's the one that you can walk in, hike in, jog in, the casual shoe. And then you needed a pair of flip-flops and a pair of boots for when I got cold. That was it. You don't need a lot. We really only need, technically, very few items. And we don't need 10 of them. We just need the one. So lesson learned, you don't need much. You don't need a gym membership because you have outdoors that you can just run in or work out in. I don't need a yoga class. I just need my yoga mat. And if I'm traveling, I don't even need that. I just use the floor or my yoga paws. Those are pretty cool. So you learn really fast when you're traveling with just a backpack or you're living a minimalist lifestyle that you don't need much. You just don't need much. Shopping is habitual. It's an addiction. And the reason it's an addiction is because, just as I kind of touched on before, like you go and buy this new cute sweater that's on sale and you're so excited and it gets that little adrenaline going, but then it wears off. And so what do you need? Just like a junkie, you need another hit. You need another hit of some shopping. And it becomes like shopping therapy, if you've heard of that. Makes people feel good because it's that little hit of adrenaline. And so that we keep going back. We keep going back. And pretty soon, this addiction we have is also just habitual. We don't know what else to do. We don't have another hobby or another interest. And so shopping becomes our hobby or interest, and we think we need more than we do because we're, again, trying to fill this void, this emptiness within us, or making ourselves feel better, or maybe it is just a habit. Maybe you're just habitually going shopping and buying stuff to fill your house and you don't know why. When we start traveling around the world and not always surrounded by convenience, but small stores that had limited hours and definitely not 24 hours a day, definitely not Walmart or any big box stores, you don't really buy anything. And you're only traveling with a backpack, so you don't need anything, and anything you buy, something has to go. So you break this pattern of shopping and you break the addiction. And so then when we come back to the States, it's a little overwhelming to have so much shopping, so much abundance, so much excessiveness at our fingertips. That was really a huge lesson that I didn't realize I was addicted to shopping or that it was habitual for me until I broke that pattern. So maybe try that. Maybe go a week, a full 7 days without buying anything, not even a coffee, and see how you feel. Notice if you get anxious, if you're like, oh my gosh, I have to buy it, or if you feel deprived, or if it feels good and refreshing. I don't know. It's a little social experiment you can run on yourself. I'm sharing these experiences with you because I've lived them. That doesn't mean that it's right for you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. It's all good either way, because I love you and you're my friend, and I'll always be here for you no matter what. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about travel, minimalism, or anything else, please leave a comment below and I'll make sure I respond to you. And as always, subscribe.